Good morning, everyone. It is a pleasure to be here with you today to discuss a topic that is as old as civilization itself, yet as contemporary as the latest stock market ticker. We are gathered here to explore a fundamental question that governs almost every waking hour of our lives, yet one we rarely pause to analyze deeply. Why do people respect money so much? To some, this question might seem absurdly obvious. We respect it because we need it, they might say. But the respect we afford money goes beyond its utility for buying bread or paying rent. We treat money with a reverence usually reserved for deities. We judge the character of strangers based on their bank accounts. We allow it to dictate our self-worth, our social hierarchies, and our dreams. Over the next 50 minutes of this exploration, we are going to peel back the layers of this collective obsession. We will look at the history, the psychology, the sociology, and the cold, hard utility of currency to understand why the human race has agreed to bow down to a concept that is, at its core, an illusion. Part 1. The concept of stored human effort. To understand why we respect money, we must first understand what it actually is. Physically, it is nothing. It is colorful paper, base metals, or increasingly just digital bits moving across a screen. You cannot eat it, you cannot wear it for warmth, and you cannot build a shelter out of it. However, we respect money because it is the most efficient system of stored human effort ever devised. In the days of barter, if you were a shoemaker and you wanted apples, you had to find an apple farmer who specifically needed shoes. This was the double coincidence of wants. It was inefficient. Money solved this. Money became a universal translator for value. When you see a man with $1 million, your brain does not just see the paper, it sees the thousands of hours of labor, the risks taken, the problem solved, or the value provided to society to earn that sum. We respect money because we respect the effort it represents. When we handle money, we are handling the potential energy of human labor. To disrespect money is, in a traditional sense, to disrespect the work required to obtain it. Part 2. The primal need for security. Beyond the abstract idea of stored effort, there is a much more visceral reason for our respect: survival. According to Maslow's hierarchy of needs, our most basic requirements are physiological: food, water, warmth, and rest. In a modern capitalist society, money is the gatekeeper to every single one of those needs. For the vast majority of human history, survival depended on physical strength, hunting skills, or tribal belonging. Today, survival depends on liquidity. Without money, you are cast out of the tribe of modern society. You lose your home, your access to health care, and your ability to feed your family. This creates a primal fear. We respect money in the same way an ancient human respected the fire or the harvest. We know that its presence means life and its absence means suffering. This isn't just greed, it is a biological imperative. When we see someone with a lot of money, we subconsciously recognize them as someone who has won the survival game. They are safe. They are insulated from the harshness of the world. We respect that safety. Part 3. Money as a proxy for competence. One of the most fascinating and perhaps dangerous reasons we respect money is that we use it as a scoreboard for competence. In our culture, we often make the fallacious assumption that wealth equals intelligence plus hard work. While we know logically that inheritance, luck, and systemic advantages play huge roles, our psychological bias, often called the halo effect, leads us to believe that if someone is rich, they must be better at something than we are. We listen to billionaires give advice on marriage, diet, and philosophy, even if their only proven expertise is in hedge funds or software. We afford them a level of intellectual respect that they haven't necessarily earned in those fields. Why? Because money is a visible, quantifiable metric of success. In a world that is chaotic and complex, money provides a simple way to rank people. It is much harder to measure someone's kindness, their integrity, or their wisdom. It is very easy to measure their net worth. Therefore, we default to money as the primary metric of status. Part 4. The ultimate tool of autonomy. If you ask people what they would do if they won the lottery, they rarely say, "I would buy 1,000 pairs of shoes." Instead, they say, "I would quit my job," or "I would travel," or "I would help my family." What they are really describing is freedom. We respect money because it is the only thing in the world that can buy no. If you have money, you can say no to a toxic boss. You can say no to living in a dangerous neighborhood. You can say no to spending your life doing things you hate. Money is the universal passport. It grants the holder the ability to navigate the world with minimal friction. This autonomy is highly seductive. Most people feel trapped by their obligations. When we see someone with immense wealth, we're not just respecting their bank account, we're envying and respecting their agency. We respect the fact that they are the masters of their own time, which is the only truly non-renewable resource we have. Part 6. The social signaling and the tribal ranking. We must also discuss the role of money in social signaling. Humans are social animals. We are hardwired to care about our position in the hierarchy. In the past, this might be determined by how many cattle you owned or how many battles you won. Today, it is determined by your conspicuous consumption. Why do people buy a watch that cost $50,000 when a $10 phone tells the time more accurately? They aren't buying a timepiece. They are buying a social signal. They are communicating to the tribe that they have excess resources. We respect money because society has conditioned us to react to these signals. We give better service to the person in the expensive suit. We are more likely to agree with the person who arrives in a luxury car. This is a feedback loop. We respect money because everyone else respects money. To ignore it is to opt out of the social game, and very few people are brave enough to do that. Part 7. The moral dimension, the prosperity gospel. In many cultures, there is a lingering, often subconscious belief that wealth is a sign of divine favor or moral goodness. This is particularly prevalent in the West, influenced by the Protestant work ethic, which suggests that hard work and material success are indicators of a person's character. We tend to view the poor with a sense of moral suspicion, asking what they did wrong, while we view the rich with moral admiration. This creates a deep-seated respect for money that is almost religious. We treat wealth as if it were a meritocratic reward for being a good or productive person. This is why we are so shocked when a rich person is revealed to be a criminal. It shatters the illusion that money and virtue are linked. Part 7. The psychology of the dopamine hit. Neurologically, money affects our brains in ways similar to drugs. Brain imaging studies show that the anticipation of making money activates the same reward centers, the nucleus accumbens, as cocaine or nicotine. We respect money because it makes us feel good. The mere thought of acquiring it releases dopamine. Conversely, the threat of losing it triggers the amygdala, the brain's fear center. Our respect for money is, in part, a biological addiction to the security and pleasure it promises. We are tuned to seek it out because our brains treat it as a survival-critical stimulus. Part 8. The illusion of certainty. We live in an incredibly uncertain world. Death, illness, and tragedy can strike at any moment. Money provides the illusion of control. While money cannot stop every tragedy, it can mitigate the fallout of many. It can buy the best doctors, the best lawyers, and the best security. We respect money because it acts as a buffer against the randomness of the universe. In a chaotic world, a large bank balance feels like a fortress. We respect the fortress because we are all, deep down, afraid of the storm. Part 9. The turning point, when respect becomes pathology. However, we must also address the dark side of this respect. When does respect turn into money worship? When we respect money too much, we begin to devalue things that cannot be quantified. We stop respecting art that doesn't sell. We stop respecting time spent with family that is not productive. We start to see people not as human beings, but as assets or liabilities. The money empathy gap is a documented psychological phenomenon. Studies have shown that as people gain more wealth, their ability to empathize with others often decreases. If we respect money more than we respect people, we create a society that is rich in capital but bankrupt in compassion. Part 10. Conclusion. Finding a balanced respect. As we conclude this 50-minute reflection, what have we learned? We respect money because it is a symbol of trust. It is a tool for survival. It is a proxy for freedom, and it is a metric for social standing. To ignore the importance of